All right. It is 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, I'm hitting this button. Hey guys, this is Bruce, and Yuri is still getting ready. We're going to try to keep it to K-1 visa. Instigator says, somebody tell me if I bring my girl to the United States on a K-1 visa and for some reason it does not work out, am I still financially responsible? And if so, is it 10 years? So,
disclaimer before we start, I am not a lawyer or an immigration consultant. My husband and I just have experience with our own K-1 visa processing. Also, check out our book, available in Amazon and Audible.
The way they work it out is that the short answer is yes, and that's why you need to be really careful. It's not necessarily 10 years. It's they have a breakdown of what it is. It's not 10 years. It's what I'll do is I'll bring it up, like what your obligation is for that person. It has something. It's like, what was it? 10 quarters of work, and I don't know what 10 quarters of work means. It's either that, or if they get remarried to someone else, then you're no longer obligated. And then there was
if they already
get their citizenship, and there's like 3 or 4 things that take you out of the obligation if things don't work out. They come over here, K-1, you guys get married. And that's only if you get married. Like, if she comes over here, you guys get married, and if for whatever reason, you guys get a divorce. There's 2 possible scenarios from that. If you get a divorce and you can prove that it was not legitimate, like, basically it was like a scam, it wasn't a real marriage, that's called an annulment. You can get an annulment, and then you have no obligation, and they have to go back to their country. If they came here, you guys had a legitimate marriage, it just didn't work out, you guys got a legit divorce, and she can prove that it was a real relationship, she can go on and get her citizenship. What we notice is when that does happen, usually the foreign fiance doesn't usually ask for money or anything like that. They usually go off and do their own thing and get a job or whatever. Like, we've seen it happen a few times, and usually they just go out and get a job. But every now and then we hear about cases where, yeah, the guy is still taking care of them. Usually it's because they have a kid or something, right?
Yeah.
And I'll bring that up. Well, let me go to some other questions here while we're... Good question. I would like to know that as well for my cousin. That's Andy. Yeah, I'll bring that up in a minute so we can get a definitive answer. Lena's World says...
instigator after 90 days. She either has to go home or you guys can get married. After that, you can be held accountable. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't get married, if she comes over and within the 90-day period, you don't get married and she's like, it just doesn't work out, you don't get married at all, then they have to go back to their country. And then that's it. That's the end of it. You don't have any obligation to take care of them. And that's the end of it.
Instigator said
yes.
You should make sure because
yes,
it's a lot of money. And also you have to sign the I-864 to show that you are... I-864 is... You're sponsoring the foreign spouse.
Yeah, that's the affidavit of support. The second, you have to sign another affidavit of support when she gets here.
That's the one that if you get divorced,
right,
then you have to support the person if they don't have a job.
Right, but that's dependent on you getting married. Like, if they came, like I said, if they came here and within the 90 days you guys did not get married, just didn't work out, they go back to their country, that's it. There's no, you didn't do the I-864, you didn't do the adjustment of status, they just go back to their country and then that's it. Amoris del Caribe says...
there was a question from Andy that's kind of important. Yeah, there. If you bring her and she cheats or something, would you still be responsible for her? And would she still be legal in the U.S. after 3 to 5 years of marriage?
I would deport her ass. well, you don't have... It's not in your power to deport anyone. Like, that's a misconception. Like, people say, they throw that around. But that's not really how it goes. So, let's say, Andy, that your fiance comes here. You guys...
It did not work out.
It didn't work out, right?
It turns out
you guys get married and it didn't work out, and and let's say it's within a year's time, she went and messed around with your friend or something, right? What you can do is you can prove that it wasn't a real relationship. You could say, listen, it wasn't a real relation. You could report them basically, and then the court decides on whether or not it was a legitimate relationship and it was a legitimate marriage. If you can prove that it wasn't legit to begin with, you can get what's called an annulment, and then that pretty much invalidates the whole marriage, and then they have to go back to their home country. They can't get a green card. There's no reason for them to stay here, and then they got to go back. So there's that. And that's what happened, if you remember, in 90 Day Fiance between, what was his name, Mohammed, and what was her name? Muhammad and the American lady, she was trying to go for an annulment because he was cheating. He was messaging other ladies and stuff. But I think that she couldn't prove that they didn't have a real relationship. The bottom line, guys, is you got to really figure out if it's real or not. And that's why we always say, make sure you take your time. Don't just jump into anything because you might get caught up. And we're talking from people, we know people who have married the wrong person. The U.S. the U.S. citizen being bad, right? Yeah. Really bad dudes, like, and vice versa, the foreign fiance doing bad things. And so we've seen both. And the solution to that is you need to really love this person. Like, you really need to make sure that this is the right person. You need to really love them enough to where you want to be with them no matter what. And if you can't say that, then I wouldn't. You need to take more time to get to know them at the very least.
Like, you gotta date. You have to date the person.
Man, you really do. And living together is really the only way,
And live together.
And 90 days, I mean, even if you don't, let's say they came over here and you got 90 days to, like, really know each other a little bit better. Like, let's say you didn't really know each other that long. Let's say you went over to Thailand or Philippines and you guys met once, but it was for, like, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And you guys been talking online for like half a year or something.
It's really different.
Like, you guys didn't get to live together. You don't really know each other. I mean, let's be honest here. But even if, let's say you go through with it, they come here for 90 days. You've got like 60 days to live with them and really make a decision. And if it doesn't work out, you can just part ways on good terms,
Yeah.
Amores del Caribe says, yeah, technically you could still stay on the hook, even in that you could have to prove in court the whole marriage was fraud. Yep, that's exactly what I just said before. Lena's World says, right. Yep. Andy says, really? Oh man, that sucks. I would pay her ticket to go back home if she wouldn't stay with me, but wants to stay and cheat with some
that's
dude.
That's why you have
Screw
to
that.
date. You have to date the person.
Gotta
get
make sure.
to know them for more than a year, because it's like, why would you bring someone to the U.S. if it wasn't sure, right?
And you know what, guys, and it's like a lot of pressure's putting on the foreign fiance, but to be perfectly honest, a lot of times it's the guys who are messing around and doing stupid stuff. The foreign fiance comes here and the guys are out of their minds, they're abusive, you name it. A lot of times it's the guys. We're saying that both of you have to decide that you're the right one. You need the U.S. petitioner to protect you and be stable when you're here and take care of you emotionally, man or woman, whatever the case. But it goes both ways, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I hope you guys are hearing us, because we hear some really bad stories.
Because Andy, if you date the person for a long time, then you'll know if that person is right for you.
Exactly.
Before you even get to the fiance visa and before bringing the person to the United States. But if you rush, you met the person once, the person looks pretty as how you wanted, and the sex was good, the chemistry's there.
Turns out they're crazy.
Yeah, or something's wrong.
Turns out they like your best friend better than you.
Turns out they just want to come into the United States.
It happens.
And so you gotta make sure that the person's coming to the U.S. for you.
And I tell you, like, the way Yuri and I felt, if you want to gauge, is that I didn't want to be alone I did not want to be without her. It was beyond loneliness, right? I've been like alone for a long time, but I couldn't imagine another day without her in my life.
Aww,
and
hearts.
Okay. All right. So we had already, and also that being said, we had already lived together like twice.
That's so sweet, baby.
Yes, thank you. So we had already lived together twice. We already knew, like, I knew Yuri's habits. She knew some of my habits.
Yeah,
and
we broke up so many times.
Yeah, we got on each other's nerves. Like, we saw the bad side of each other. Like, we had to, and you have to embrace that part. The weaknesses and the flaws, the imperfections, the strengths, the weaknesses. You have to embrace it, because this is who I'm going to be married to for a very long time, forever, until we die, right? So I got to make sure I can deal with all of it. And that goes for you too. So
you have to know the person, like, really get to know the attitude and the bad attitude of the person.
Everybody has a dark side.
Yeah.
Everybody has their good and a bad side, and I'm just being real with you. It doesn't, like, it's not always good. If you look at some of our old YouTube, you could see some of the stuff. We left it up like times when we weren't good, We weren't good as a couple, or we have
more than
arguments.
We have not videotape when we were still dating.
Right.
Yeah, it's like you really gotta date and get to know all the negative side of the person and see if you can still be there.
Right. And a lot of times it's like us as Americans, like sometimes we're just selfish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really about me taking care of her. Like when she's in a bad place, me coming and trying to pick her up. You know what I mean? And then vice versa. When I'm in a bad place, she comes and picks me up.
Well, Wallace said, I haven't made enough crypto, so I gotta work in the morning.
All right, guys. All right. Seriously, we got to go.
Oh, gosh.
I got to work too tomorrow. So see you guys later. I'm going to do it. Okay. Hold me to it. If I don't do it, then sweat me. I'm going to do another live tomorrow. I don't know what time. I'm going to try to do it as early as possible.
Click the bell.
Click the bell. Post notifications. Make sure you like this video.
Thumbs up for this video.
We are.
Also check out our course at visaproof.thinkific.com. It comes with a $30 membership a month, or you can also buy the entire course with the pamphlets for $120. With $30, you can get access to all the videos from step 1 to step 5 of the entire K-1 visa. We will also be adding videos for green card and later process and updates of videos about the application of the U.S. citizenship.